Modern Homemakers, and in case you were wondering if we were ever going to get around to finishing this couch project, today is the day! So, if you missed part 1 of how to reupholster a couch, I showed you how to do the cushion, which was all I needed at the time. And this is not a professional reupholstery class, people. This is how to do it at home without any special tools, so it looks good enough to get her done if you don't have the money to go buy a new couch. And what we're going to do today is my next problem, which I even temporarily fixed with duct tape. Isn't that pathetic? But my children have torn a hole in the side, so we are going to embrace it, people. We're going to pull it off so it's smooth, and we are going to do arm. Treat this like a big puzzle. Every couch is different. We are not going to be using actual professional upholstery tools, nail guns, tack strips, all that crazy stuff. We don't have them, and if I had to go buy all that stuff, I'm not going to save any money, so I would just go buy another cheap sofa. So what we're going to do, starting with this arm, is we're going to pretend that this is its own little piece, and we're going to start with it. So, some fabric here. Now, depending on your fabric, really, really impressive reupholsterer people, upholsterers, they can go in and match your fabrics, match your patterns. Like this polka dot would touch this cushion in the exact same way. You're not going to find that here. This is a beginning sewing, giving you the strength to go try something on your own. So I just need enough in front to be able to gather that. Okay, so we've got enough on the side to tuck. We've got enough in the front to be able to gather that. Our side, we have more than enough, but we're not going to bother cutting that right now. And our back, we just need enough to be able to tuck in. So I need that. So what we're going to do, because cutting upholstery fabric is scary because it's so expensive, we're going to use our pins, and I'm going to pull back here where I tucked in that fabric, and I'm going to pull up right where my tuck was and go a little bit to the side of it. And that is our cut line. We're going to go all the way across. No fancy cuts, just getting us our smaller rectangle. Because as you can see, I got a lot of this fabric, which you want to do because you don't know how much you're going to need. And if you take months to finish your project like I did, it may not be there when you go back. I was so grateful that they still had my fabric. Anyway, so not doing an exact science at all here. I'm going to use my dots as a guide. And I'm about midpoint through that series of dots. And we're going to go all the way up. And across. Might be a little wasteful in some patches, but we're going to save all our scrap and probably make some more pillows, and we might even do my ottomans, which the children have also destroyed. Okay, taking out that pin. Now that we've got a little bit of cut going on, we're going to tuck that in for now. And we're going to tuck that in. Now we're going to be stitching things because we're not going to be using any sort of nail gun or anything. So we're going to stitch to the existing couch material that's already on there. Now professionals are going to strip off everything that's on here. They're going to repad it, all that stuff. This is in good condition, so we don't need to do that. So we're just going to be, it's almost like making a slip cover that doesn't move. That's kind of what we're doing. So got that tucked in there. And then we're going to come around front. Now this layer is going to be covered up by what we do next. So you can see this is not an exact science. I'm going to play with this, and I'm going to get it to where I think it looks pretty. You can see this is what it was before. I'm changing the shape a little bit to make this easier on myself. It's my couch. I can make it what it needs to be. So I'm going to look at the side here. I'm going to shove some pins over here so I don't mess up the side. Oh, sorry, I'll show you what I'm doing from the side here. So before I gather this, I'm going to put a couple pins over here so the fabric doesn't move. So, putting in a couple pins. Might even stick one down at the bottom. And that's just to hold my spots so everything doesn't move around. To really attach this to the bottom, once again, I'm going to have to take off those chair legs. So I didn't want to be lower to the ground to start with, though. Okay, so you can see I put a couple pins so things aren't moving around. And now we're coming back around to the front. So this extra material, whatever we don't get cut away, is going to be covered up by our front piece that we do near the end. So since I'm changing my shape a little, and keep in mind this is all going to be covered by a cushion as well. We're just going to start the process of folding. See, I'm holding this with my left hand. Okay, we're smooth with our right. I'm going to come look at all of this again. Kind of pulling that over to tighten it a little. So you can see this is a very, just kind of fidget with it, kind of like wrapping a weird shaped present. Now once you get it to the point where you're happy with it, where you'd be happy to sit there and stare at that, cut over to that armrest for a second so you can see the original. So you can see that has grooves and contours in it as well. It's not like a seamless thing. So come over here. So don't expect it to have that smooth like a cushion. It's going to have folds and stuff in it. And what we're going to do at this point is start pulling down from the top a little, now that we've got it from the sides. And I'm continuously taking my hand and smoothing everything all the way down. And we're going to put some pins in here so we don't lose our spot. It's almost like 4 layers of pins here because we've got so many things going on. Okay, those. Got to keep pulling this over, it keeps loosening over there. And then I'm going to throw in some individual pins on each fold. Because what I'm going to be doing is going in and I'm going to hand stitch these so that they stay in that shape. My angle quite right. Yep. So what we're going to do, now that we've got these where we're happy with them, is get rid of some of this excess fabric because it's going to make it hard to have it lay down smooth. So this, coming from the side, this big piece is going to cover everything that we just did, like this. That piece is going to stay there. But you can see this is really bulky. So what we're going to do is, I'll put some pins here so we know our exact side shape. And I'm going to peel this open for a second. And anything that is below this point is kind of an extra bulk. So I'm going to go in and I'm just going to take some of that off so it lays down smoother. Let's go see. I'm sure we've got even more we can take off soon. Yeah, that's a lot less bulk in there. And we've got a little bit more I can take off right in here. Just be careful and double check before you start cutting. You know, this fabric is super expensive. Upholstery fabric in general. Okay, it's starting to lay a lot flatter in there. So we're getting that pushed down. Got some in here I can take off. See how that's got that extra bend there. So I'm going to take a moment, since this is actually coming from the side, and I'm going to snip that. A little bit further. There we go, that's starting to lay better. So just, I'm taking my hands and I'm dragging it over to make sure nothing's bumping out. That's bothering me. So this whole piece here is unnecessary, so I'm going to get rid of it. Because all of this is adding layers to it. So I'm getting to the point where I'm actually not going to put a pin in that.